Buongiorno everyone, welcome to the player ratings after that 4-3 thriller on a Friday night against Man City. Kendall, a bit of a roller coaster that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all, you know. 4 Man City goals, fair enough, but I wasn't expecting 3 from us and 2 penalties in a game and Emil Krafth scoring in a game. What? Literally, that was absolute wild ride.
It was, like, you can tell it's the end of the season. Like, it was an absolute madness. Crazy game. We
always do some like weird madness at the end of the season, when we like beat Tottenham and stuff 5-1 in the last day of the season. Like, we always just do some random stuff.
That was right up there with the Tottenham one, I reckon. Like, and even last week, man, like that's in the space of a week. We've played first and third in the Premier League and scored 7 goals.
No.
We used to go months without having 7 shots on target.
Honestly, it's just insane. Really is. What's gone on the last week, I don't know. But where was this, a year and a half ago? Where's this been the whole time?
Where was this in February?
I'd like to know. Yeah, I'd like to know.
Right, then let's get in. I'll let you take Martin Dúbravka.
Yeah, I thought it was okay tonight. I mean, look, the goals, there was nothing really you could have done about it. Especially Ferran Torres' second goal was just incredible. There's nothing really you could have done about it. I need his distribution to be quicker because we I don't know if we scored or got the penalty on he like threw it out really quickly for like once in his life. Because that's the only issue. Like, that's the only issue I have with him. I think he just needs to distribute it quicker to get us going. Because in that sort of game where we were counter-attacking, that would have been perfect. So yeah, Martin Dúbravka can have a 7 for me. I don't think he was anything bad, but 4 goals did get past him, and you couldn't really help it. It's not his fault.
No, I agree on the distribution. There's one chance where he has the opportunity to roll it out, and he keeps it close to him, and then by the time he makes the decision, all the City players are in their own half again. So he needs to sort that out, I think, in the summer, hopefully. Murphy, for me today, I thought he was a bit disappointing. He had a good start of the game. He had City under wraps a little bit on that side. I thought he was maintaining them well, and he was winning fouls as well. I think it was Cancelo who got the yellow when he pulled his shirt. But there was opportunities for Murphy going forward at the start of the second half where the final ball wasn't good enough. A lot of the times it was delivered into the palms of Scott Carson, or it was blocked away. Lacked that cutting edge tonight. Jacob Murphy going forward, defensively good until the last half an hour or so, but then started getting found out a little bit. I give him a 5. The goal scorer opened it up tonight. You've got £70 million centre backs in Man City's ranks, and Krafth steals the show. The one who's worth pennies.
Insane. Like, he jumped so high for that header as well. I was like, what the hell? I've never seen him do that before. I must admit, I think he's had 2 really good games the past 2 games. I think he's been pretty decent, and I know for all the stick he gets from me and the rest of us, I thought he's been totally fine. I think he's handled the position that he's been put in really, really well. And I mean, I know it's only 2 games, but yeah, thought it was good. Thought the goal was absolutely great. And he had an all right time. Defensively, it was a bit of a struggle tonight, but yeah, I thought it was fine. Krafth can have an 8 for me.
Yeah, I chucked in, like you're saying, against the top 4 teams in the space of a week. And he has done a solid job, really. Defensively, we fell apart in the second half. Everyone. You got Fernandez and stuff, everyone. But Krafth tonight, I loved the celebration or the surprise of it.
Yeah,
I thought it had been ruled out because he was like, have I actually fucking scored, have I? I don't know what that feels like.
First Premier League goal, like, it's just insane.
Yeah, probably his first goal since he was in the primary school. Fernandez tonight, some good clearances, but again, slow. I just think the centre-backs were slow, very slow. Like, when you look at City's, I don't know, it was the 3rd or 4th where Torres is the easiest one, the one from close range where Jesus smacks it along the box. Fernandez is just too slow to get involved, to close someone down. But it is Man City, and he was doing well until that point, so I'll give him a 5.
Yeah.
Paul Dummett, the hero from last week.
Yeah, same for me as well. I think Paul Dummett made a couple of decent clearances, but he wasn't as present in the game as he was last week. Same with Fernandez. I thought defensively tonight we were actually quite poor. Considering, I mean, I know the goal line, everyone's going to say, well, yeah, of course you were, 4 goals conceded, but it wasn't really like that. It was just defensively, we were ball watching a little bit. I think Jacob Murphy got caught out a couple of times ball watching. And for all City's attack they don't even play with an out-and-out striker, you know what I mean? So I thought we could have done better tonight. And yeah, Paul Dummett can, he can have 5 as well.
Yeah. Matt Ritchie in the left wing back row got a yellow card for a good rugby tackle quite early on. But again, he was spraying the ball out. I remember he did a good one into Willock's chest on the edge of the box. I think he should have been took off a bit earlier. We eventually brought Jamal Lewis on, but I think that could have happened earlier. Maybe he kind of dwindled it out a little bit, knowing he was on a yellow, but he was decent enough tonight, Ritchie. Nowhere near as bad as the centre-backs, really. So I give him a 6. Shelvey?
I'm back to being like about him again. He was giving some horrible balls away. Like there was one time where he did clear it pretty well in front of Dúbravka, but the rest of the game, like, what does he do as a captain? I don't really know. I'm struggling to understand. He's not present in the game. He's not like an active participant, if that makes sense. Like he doesn't influence the game enough for me. He's not vocal enough. He was giving some silly fouls away, just giving the ball away, wasn't holding on to the ball very well tonight. It was just like back to the same old again, because I thought he had an all right game last week. But I just thought it was back to the same old Shelvey again, and it just wasn't great for me. Peter will probably disagree, but he can probably have a 5 as well, because I guess it wasn't an embarrassment tonight, but he didn't really do much for me, to be honest.
Nah, unlucky with the free kick that went off the ball. That could have took you 2-0 up. But yeah, we were just frustrated again with how slow, and he seems to be ducking out of these 50-50s every week.
All the
time. Not cutting the mustard for me. Who is cutting the mustard though, and I hope he continues cutting the mustard for Newcastle next year, it's Joe Willock. I cannot underestimate how much I love this kid. Yeah. And he deservedly won the penalty, took the penalty, fluffed it a little bit, wasn't exactly in the corner, gave Carson a chance to get to it, but he was there for the rebounds. He wanted the rebound that much, that he fell on his face trying to get to it, to get the tap in, but he got the goal again. Well, I think it's 6 goals in 5 games. The first player to do that since Papi Cisse. So the impact he's had on us since signing from January is unreal. And
I love his passion as well. Like he's so happy when he scores. He loves it. Like, and that's just something we've been crying out for so long. Like, we would be very. I know Arsenal are gonna they're gonna see everything that's happened. They're gonna make it difficult for us to get him. They might even want him back, because I know, obviously, I think David Luiz is leaving. I know that doesn't affect Joe Willock's position, but Ceballos is not going to be staying much longer either. So I think they're going to want him back. They're going to make it difficult for us, but we'd be very stupid not to even try to get him. We'd be very, very, very stupid.
We need to make him priority this summer for me, like priority.
Agreed.
But I think you're right. I think if Arsenal have got any sense about them and they're struggling themselves and they're not going to have much money to spend, probably under Kroenke, it'd be daft not to keep him and give him a chance. But I don't know if he fits there. He's one of them players that I think he really fits at Newcastle. Arsenal fans weren't bothered about him leaving. He was happy to go and get a chance somewhere, or Teta clearly doesn't fancy him. So let's just make it happen. Let's just make it permanent. Sign up Willock. And that was my rating, I think, on it. So I'll give him a good 8 tonight, Joe Willock. Miguel Almirón?
Again, it was okay tonight. It was better than last week. He gives a lot of fouls away. I know he wins a lot as well, but he gives a lot away. There was a couple of decent runs he made. Some of the passes that he made, like there was one where Joelinton was in on goal and he passed it back behind Joelinton. He did that a couple of times with different people. And I love Miggy so much. I just want him to, like, be that player. I remember they burst in, like when we first signed for us and he burst out under Rafa. We were like, oh my God, this kid is amazing. Like he's literally phenomenal. I just want to be that again. I know that's asking for a lot in this, in this current team. But we are doing pretty well. This should be somewhere where he fits in. And maybe he is playing out of position a little bit, but yeah, it is what it is. I thought he was okay again. He can probably have a 6 for me, Almirón.
Yeah, he was definitely improved on what he has been in recent weeks. Like more of a threat on the counter. But yeah, still lacking a bit of an edge. Saint today I thought was quiet for large parts. He didn't look like he was on it as much as he has been recently. But then when he was on it, like that run, that's what we needed more of tonight. And that's how you're always going to hurt these big teams when you get them on the counter. It's always going to be the plan. That led obviously Joelinton winning the penalty, but didn't get involved as much as I would have liked. But did have some neat footwork when called upon. But again, I just think we missed it. And now we've got 3 goals. We've still got 0 points. I think we could have got a result if we had took it more. We've seen how
I agree.
All over the shop Aki was. We know Scott Carson's a championship keeper coming towards the end of his career on a 2-year loan deal. Do you know what I mean? This is his first appearance for City. Yeah, maybe we could have got a bit more out of Saint tonight, but I'll give him a 6. Joelinton, great penalty.
Great, really, really great penalty. But for me, unfortunately, it's like the only kind of where the positives end for me a little bit. He just missed so many chances today. Like, there was one where he hit it was off the side of his left foot and it curled. Like, I think the keeper might have got a touch on it with his foot, but it curled away. And there was a time where he was in on goal and he passed it back to City. I was like, what are you doing? Like, it's just, I hate when he does things like this because everyone's like, oh, typical Joelinton. When I wouldn't care. For the past 6 or 7 games, he's been thoroughly improved, in my opinion. I think he's been okay. But today I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I think honestly we could have had a few more goals if Callum Wilson had them chances, for example. I just don't think Joelinton's not a striker. We know this. I don't know why when Callum Wilson's out they suddenly think, oh, let's put Joelinton there. Like, I just don't know why they do that still at this day. I honestly feel like Joelinton would be better in Shelvey's position against next to Joe Willock. That's just how I feel. But yeah, I thought he was all right. And the penalty was fantastic, by the way. One of the really, really good penalties. But yeah, he can have a 5, I guess. I'm not going to give him any lower than everyone else, but he can have a 5.
Nah, he did well put his laces through the pen, but
yeah.
I just don't get why Gayle or Carroll didn't come on earlier to get in behind.
I really don't.
Winded me up. I think we can rattle through the subs because none of them really touched the ball. Sean had 5 minutes, same as Jamal Lewis, and Gayle had 2 minutes plus a few minutes stoppage time, but none of them really touched the ball, did we? No. I don't think we can rate any one of those, to be honest. It
was literally 99% possession to Man City in the last 10 minutes. It was awful.
It was. That last 10 minutes killed the thriller feel to the game, didn't it?
Big time.
I will mention Sean, though, lifting when he got the ball, and he was on the left-hand side, and he just didn't even look up. No idea of his surroundings, and played a ball in the middle of the park and give it away to City. Yeah. See, you've just passed to yourself. You've just passed to a position where you would be. That nobody's going to be there if you're not there because that's your position. It's mental.
Absolutely. For me, he really needs to book his ideas up in the summer if he wants to even have a career at Newcastle, in my opinion, because I just think he's been so under par. I think he's had the games that he's played. I don't know how many he's played in succession, but the games that he's played, I think he's maybe had 2. One really decent, one okay game, and other than that, he's been really poor for me, and it's sad to say because I don't want it to be like that, but he just stays. I would have just stuck a couple of different subs on there for me today. I mean, I would have had Gayle or Carroll on. I didn't actually even see the bench, to be honest. Jamal Lewis was a random sub. Yeah, I would have had Matty on. Jamal Lewis was a random sub. I wouldn't have chose that sub, but I mean, he did okay in the time that he was on there. But yeah, Sean needs to really, really figure out what it is that he's wanting to do because I just don't even know myself at the minute.
Nah. But like I say, Matty was on the bench for a change. Do you reckon on Wednesday we'll see a lot of changes?
I'd like to think so, because really there's nothing. I don't even care at this point if we come 17th. I really don't. I just want this season to be done. I've said this before. If someone said to me in January, right, season's done, you finish 17th, I'd be like, fine, just give me it now. I'm still in that point because I just want the season done. I want it over with. I want to regroup and sort out what we're doing because I don't think we know ourselves. And yeah, so I would like to see changes. I know everyone was calling for Elliot Anderson, but I think he's injured. So I don't think he can come. But I would like to see Matty Longstaff start. especially over the likes of Sean, for example. I know he hasn't been starting, but still, yeah, I would like to see maybe Gayle and Carroll, because we kind of need to put Gayle in the shop window, I think, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to give him a new contract, right? Because it's just typical Mike Ashley, Charlie vibes. But really, if that's the case, I think we need to put him in the shop window for me to get a move away. Because I mean, Andy Carroll's not going to sign for it any longer. He doesn't really need to. So yeah, I think I would like to see them too as well. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen now.
It is mad that Gayle's going to get a new deal, but hopefully the only thing to come out of that is get some money out of it. Because for me, West Brom have just been relegated. Just let West Brom come in with a 10, 50 million pound bid. Get rid. Because if you don't trust them to only come on with 2 minutes to go all the time, fucks the point.
Exactly.
Wilson's injuries are going to persist, unfortunately. So we'll need a better backup next year. And finally, Steve Bruce. Manager of the month, Steve Bruce, by the way.
Yeah, Manager of the Month curse apparently always goes on. I mean, tonight I thought might have, changed it a little bit. But, yeah, it is what it is. I knew he wasn't going to change the team. I mean, Man City made a lot of changes. Scott Carson in goal. Clearly, Pep Guardiola thinks we are horrendous because he does not respect us putting Scott Carson in goal, who has not played a Premier League game. Was it since 2011? Started Premier League games 2011. So for 10 years, and he just randomly saying, "Oh, we've got Newcastle. We'll just put Scott Carson in goal." Like that's how much he respects us. But yeah, fair enough. Started off pretty solid. Started off pretty well again. Dropped off towards the end of the first half again. Second half was poor. Like the second half was just a struggle for me. And you can't blame him a lot. I think I can blame him for the subs. I can blame him for the timing of the subs. But the players not performing defensively, I can't blame. So it is what it is at this point. I'm done ranting about him. I want him to leave. I want him to go in the summer. I don't want him to use the excuse as, the fans hounded me out when they came back to St. James Park. No, not at all. You sat and call us keyboard warriors for however long, and you deserve everything you get when we get that in the ground. You deserve all of the, not abuse, because obviously we're totally against that now, but you deserve the fans to know how they feel, because you've completely disregarded everything the fans have ever said for months and months and months, always made excuses for yourself, always the victim. And now he's sitting there saying, fans are so important in the game, but you completely disregard your own. It's embarrassing. So I do hope that on Wednesday, I don't hope it's abusive and I don't hope it's insulting, but I do hope it's that he knows how we feel really and truly. I think he probably does. He just tries to deny it. But yeah, I just don't know at this point. I think he needs to just go in the summer. I really hope that this is the last 2 games we have under him, because I just don't know how long any of us can even cope for another year. I really, really don't. Plus, we didn't even sell the 10,000 tickets that were available, which speaks, exactly, speaks total volumes about how we feel at the moment. So, yeah, you can have credit where credit's due for his performance. Not his performance, but his choices in the past couple of games, because he's kept the team the same and it's worked. That's fair enough. But yeah, needs to book his ideas up if we're going to have him for another year, because I just honestly, if I go through another year, that I'll be 40-year-old by next year. I'll just age 15 year. I'll age 15 year in the season. Like, it's not funny. I think I've aged now. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for like stuff like this, I'd have lost the plot by now. But yeah,
I'm the same. I think people will be thinking I've lost a bet with Joelinton again, but I'll be having white hair off Bruce. I'll be looking more like Bruce than Joelinton if I have to put it with him again.
Won't he dying this time?
No, it won't. If it come January, if he's still here, it won't need dying. It'll be far news and it'll be great. But tonight, I don't know. I'd give him a 6 or something, because we were in the game, we scored some goals, but for me, poor subs and clueless subs, to be honest.
Yeah, the game plan was there. He just ruined it. He ruined his own game plan, which is, making the silly subs and late. So, yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Happy days. Right then. Thanks very much, Kendall. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Keep your comments coming. Check out Kendall's channel. The link is in the description. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week for Sheffield United. Cheers, Kendall. Good night.
Thank you. Night.
See you later.
Bye.